The name alone tells you everything about the stakes, the Doomsday Glacier. It is not a nickname that scientists use lightly, and according to reports from some of the world's most respected glaciologists, the research institutions tracking Antarctica's Thwaites Glacier have just updated their warnings. And what changed is significant enough that today, August 12th, 2026, we are bringing you a complete, verified breakdown of exactly what is happening, what scientists found, and what it means for every coastal community on Earth. According to sourced information from Earth.com, published in June 2026, the Thwaites Eastern Ice Shelf, a floating body of ice attached to the glacier's front that acts as a natural break on the flow of ice toward the sea, could begin breaking apart as early as 2026. That is not a distant forecast. That is this year. And according to reports from the same verified source, once that break is gone, the ice behind it moves faster. And faster means sooner. And sooner means the question of what Thwaites does to global sea levels stops being a matter for future generations and starts being a matter for people alive today. But before the alarm, the science. Because understanding what changed requires understanding what Thwaites actually is and why it carries the weight of a name like Doomsday. What is Thwaites and why does it matter? According to sourced information from Earth.com's verified scientific analysis, Thwaites is the largest glacier in West Antarctica, roughly the size of the state of Florida. According to reports, it is more than 6,560 feet thick in places and 75 miles wide at its front. These numbers represent an almost incomprehensible volume of frozen fresh water sitting on land at the edge of a continent, held in place by its own weight, the geography beneath it, and floating ice shelves at its front. According to reports from CBS News, citing the International Thwaites Glacier Collaboration, a collective of more than 100 scientists, if the glacier melts completely, it could raise sea levels by over 2 feet, and with potential for a total rise of up to 10 feet when accounting for the ice it holds back. According to researchers at the University of California, Irvine, the ocean could rise by about 60 centimeters from Thwaites alone. According to verified sourced information from Earth.com, Thwaites is not just a very large glacier. It is described as a structural pillar holding back much of the West Antarctic ice sheet. According to the same reports, if Thwaites goes, it destabilizes the ice behind it. And if the whole West Antarctic ice sheet eventually follows, a scenario scientists consider a genuine long-term possibility, sea levels rise by around 11 feet. That, according to reports, is not a distant theoretical scenario. Scientists treat the glacier's trajectory as a climate tipping point, a threshold that triggers irreversible changes, lasting thousands of years once crossed. And now, according to the most recent verified reports, that threshold is closer than it was before. What changed? The new warning. According to sourced information from Earth.com's June 2026 analysis, the specific development prompting the latest scientific concern is the status of the Thwaites Eastern Ice Shelf. This floating extension of ice at the glacier's front acts as a natural break, like a doorstop holding back a heavy door, pressing against the seaward flow of the glacier's main body, slowing the rate at which ice enters the ocean. According to reports from the same verified source, this eastern ice shelf could begin breaking apart as early as 2026. The mechanism involves a network of fractures, crevasses, spreading through the shelf's structure. When these fractures propagate far enough, the shelf loses its structural integrity. It breaks. And when the break is gone, the ice behind it accelerates toward the sea. According to verified reports from Columbia 1, published July 5th, 2026, and sourced to the International Thwaites Glacier Collaboration, researchers used ice-breaking ships and an underwater robot called Icefin to study the glacier directly. According to reports, marine geophysicist Rob Larder of the British Antarctic Survey stated, "Our findings indicate it is set to retreat further and faster." Glaciologist Eric Rigno of the University of California, Irvine emphasized, "While progress has been made, we still have deep uncertainty about the future." According to reports from CBS News, Dr. Ted Scambos, a glaciologist at the University of Colorado, was direct. Towards the end of this century or into the next century, it is very probable that we will see a rapid increase in the amount of ice coming off Antarctica. The Thwaites is pretty much doomed. According to the same sourced CBS News report, these findings represent the culmination of 6 years of research by more than 100 scientists. According to reports from CBS News, a separate study found that high-pressure ocean water is seeping beneath the Doomsday Glacier, leading to what the study described as vigorous ice melt. Study co-author Christine Dow called Thwaites the most unstable place in the Antarctic, and said the speed of its melting could prove devastating for coastal communities around the world. That phrase, devastating for coastal communities, is not rhetorical. It is a description of a specific physical consequence that the new warning brings closer to our present moment. The drilling expedition. Findings from inside the ice. According to verified sourced information from PBS NewsHour, a 2-month-long expedition to Antarctica in January 2026 brought scientists directly to the Thwaites Glacier. The team drilled into the ice to record temperatures and understand the impact of climate change from within the glacier itself, part of their Tipping Point series. According to PBS NewsHour's verified reporting, researchers encountered something during the drilling they had never encountered before in previous drilling locations. The specific finding illustrates the ongoing scientific discovery reshaping the updated warnings. Experienced researchers, using advanced equipment, are still finding new evidence about how this glacier behaves from the inside. According to sourced information from Columbia 1, the ITGC's work using IceFin specifically targeted the grounding line, the point where the glacier meets the seabed and where warm ocean water makes contact with the glacier's base. It is at this grounding line, according to verified scientific reports, that the most critical and rapid melting is occurring. Warm ocean water circulating beneath the glacier and reaching its base is one of the primary drivers of Thwaites' accelerating melt, and it is self-reinforcing. More melt means the grounding line retreats further inland. Further inland means the glacier becomes less stable. Less stability means more melt. The cycle, according to all sourced scientific reporting, has no natural off switch once it reaches a critical stage. What it means for coastal communities, according to all verified scientific reporting reviewed for this analysis, the consequences of Thwaites Glacier's continued deterioration are global, but they are not distributed equally. The communities most at risk are those with the least elevation above current sea level and the least capacity to respond. According to sourced information from Columbia 1, citing ITGC findings, the strategic impact of a full glacier melt could affect coastal cities like Miami and London, as well as vulnerable regions such as Bangladesh and the Pacific Islands. These are not random examples. Miami's geology makes it particularly vulnerable to both sea level rise and storm surge. London's Thames Barrier was built for the sea levels of the 20th century. Bangladesh has hundreds of miles of low-lying coastal territory where tens of millions of people live. Pacific Island nations face existential threat from even modest sea level increases. According to reports from CBS News, scientists warn that sea level rise triggered by the glacier's melting could impact hundreds of millions of people in coastal communities. That figure encompasses not just people living on low-lying land, but the economic infrastructure of coastal cities, freshwater supplies threatened by saltwater intrusion, and the storm surge amplification that occurs when baseline sea levels are higher. According to verified scientific reporting, even a rise of 26 inches from Thwaites alone, over the coming centuries, would be profoundly consequential. Combined with contributions from other melting glaciers and the thermal expansion of warming ocean, water, the cumulative sea level trajectory that Thwaites represents, is one of the most significant long-term risks in climate science. The tipping point. Why this risk is different. According to sourced information from Earth.com's verified analysis, what distinguishes Thwaites from other climate risks is irreversibility. Most consequences of climate change can, in principle, be reduced if their drivers are reversed. But according to verified scientific reporting, Thwaites represents a different category of risk, a tipping point that, once crossed, cannot be undone within any human timescale. According to reports from the same Earth.com verified source, scientists treat the glacier's trajectory as a threshold that triggers irreversible changes lasting thousands of years once crossed. Thousands of years. That is not a timescale within which civilization can simply adapt by building higher seawalls. It is a timescale on which the physical geography of the planet's coastlines changes permanently. According to reports from CBS News, the ITGC's 6 years of research confirm that the melting may be irreversible. The research highlights the gravity of a situation that is not a distant prospect. It is a process measurably underway right now. According to verified reports, some computer models suggest a rapid collapse of Thwaites' ice cliffs may be less likely than once feared, meaning the worst-case scenario may carry lower probability than earlier projections indicated. But, according to all sourced scientific reporting, the direction of travel is not in dispute. Thwaites is retreating. The eastern ice shelf is fracturing. And the updated warning issued in 2026 reflects the latest measurements confirming this process is continuing and, according to reports, accelerating. Final word. What changed and what it means. On August 12, 2026, the verified scientific consensus on Antarctica's Thwaites Glacier can be stated clearly. According to sourced information from Earth.com, the eastern ice shelf that acts as a natural break could begin breaking apart as early as this year. According to reports from the British Antarctic Survey, the glacier is set to retreat further and faster. According to the University of Colorado, the glacier is pretty much doomed. According to the ITGC, more than 100 scientists across 6 years of research, the melt may be irreversible. And according to all verified reporting, the strategic consequences for coastal communities could affect hundreds of millions of people. What changed is the timeline. What changed is the confidence level of the projections. What changed is the evidence from inside the glacier itself, from drilling expeditions, from underwater robots, from satellite data. Each year of new data brings the scientific community to a clearer and more alarming picture of where this glacier is heading. What stays the same is the underlying physics. Warm water melts ice. More melt means more sea level rise. A glacier the size of Florida, contributing its full volume to the ocean, raises global sea levels by 26 inches. The ice it holds behind it, if Thwaites eventually goes, could raise those levels by 11 feet. According to reports, the warning is real. The science is solid. And the window for the world to act, while it may be narrowing, is, according to all verified scientific reporting, still open. This has been your complete verified breakdown of the new scientific warning about Antarctica's Doomsday Glacier, August 12th, 2026. Stay with us for every update as this critical story continues to develop.